I would like to introduce.
Okay, let's go.
New online radio station. WNB1 Radio broadcasting live 24/7. All music genres. WNB1 Radio. Your urban music link.
Welcome to WNB1 Radio and Straight to the Point Sports. We're in our beautiful downtown studios, and I'm here with my regulars, Steve Lopes and Derek Consation.
What up, everybody?
We're here.
What's going on? So we got a lot of sports to talk about tonight. I'll give you the rundown before we obviously start. So we need to talk about the playing games. All the playing games. There was 4 of them. Now we're down to 2 of them, which will basically put us into the playoffs starting. I believe on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday or Sunday. I can't.
Saturday. Both days. Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. But it'll lead us right into the playoffs. Also, we need to talk about once we pretty much know who's going to play. It's just a matter of 2 teams. But that are going to be. But I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in either or. In both conferences, I don't really see it being a difference maker, unless I'm wrong. But which playoff series you think will be the most intriguing? We'll touch upon that. Also, the USA Olympic basketball roster has been announced, and we want to know if there are any snubs, anyone that should have been probably put on the roster that was left off. So we got the NBA with the first lifetime ban for gambling, and that dubious title goes to Jonte Porter. He's handed a lifetime ban for gambling and providing information, personal information about himself to NBA bettors to try to obviously gain an advantage.
Prop bets, yeah.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the WNBA, which also keeps they're riding off of everything off of the season. The draft was this past week, numbers. And they also broke viewership records. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about
First
that.
Time it was televised, I think.
Yes. We'll also talk about that. We'll also touch into the big fight that's going on this weekend. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, who are fighting this weekend. And I don't know if you've been following social media or anything, but is Ryan Garcia, is he fit to fight? There's a lot of things. Yeah, physically. He's there physically.
He can film himself doing some crazy, incredible things with no competition in front of him, but mentally.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about the things that he's been doing, out of the ring leading up to the fight, which makes it very questionable. And also, we'll touch upon the UFC 300, the UFC 300 review. There were some
some good fights,
some pretty good fights,
the best all around cards I've seen,
and some scintillating knockouts, if you want to put it that way. And we'll touch upon that. Remember, phone lines are always open. We can be reached at 774-425-2631. And let me put it up there so we know. You can tap in and you can either add to what we're talking about, agree or disagree, or you can add your whatever you want to talk about it, and we'll touch upon that. All right. So the phone lines are open, 774-425-2631. Also, if you're watching on Facebook and you haven't done so, go to wherever you get your apps from, whether it's Apple or Android, and download the WNB1 mobile app on the go. And it's real easy. Just go and type in WNB1 Radio, just like it is on front the desk. Type out you got to type out the word one. A lot of people just try to put the number in. That's not going to work. And up comes the app, and you'll be able to access us that way, as well as if you go to WMB1.com, all you got to do is punch in that HTTP and all that stuff, whatever it's called, the URL, and up comes our website, and all you got to do is enter the live stream, and that's just another way of grabbing us as well. All right, so we're gonna get started. We need to talk about the playing games, right? So as we know, the playing games, what's this, the third year? This is the third year that it's been going.
Might be the fourth.
I was like, I thought it
I
was
think
second or third.
I think it's the
It's the
fourth.
third. I thought it was the third.
I think it's the fourth because it could because they said Atlanta was 3-0 before last night.
I don't know. I thought it was the third. We'll look it up.
It could be. It could be.
So we need to talk about the playing games. All right. So as you know, the way the playing games work is basically the 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 play. The higher seeds, if they win, they automatically move over to the 7 seed. If the lowest seed loses, the lowest being the 10, they're out. And then the loser, which is it could be the loser or the winner of the lowest seed, goes and has to play the loser of the 8 seed. So it stays all in line. A lot of people weren't for it when it initially happened, and one being LeBron James.
Yeah.
Right. Remember when they made it? And
Guess how he's made it.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So I don't think he's basically saying, his exact words were whoever pretty much created this shit should be fired. And it worked out well for them last year because they played themselves in, and they played themselves all the way to the Western Conference Championship. And then once again, we'll start off with them, Lakers Pelicans. So the storyline is going to remain, obviously, Zion Williamson. He injured his hamstring with 3 minutes left in the game. All right,
And he was dominating.
He
he had 40 points.
That saved the Lakers.
He had
Couldn't stop him.
40 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. So at the time of his departure, the game was tied. All right, there was a little over 3 minutes left, and he actually scored, came down, and I didn't know until the announcers was like, oh, he's hurt, he's grimacing, and he pointed over to the bench, because he went to the basket, and he rose up over Anthony Davis, laid it in, tied the game up, and then immediately turned around and looked over at the bench, pointed at himself like to take himself out. So as he was walking, we didn't know what was wrong with him. Until the reports came out later saying is obviously
throwing stuff behind the bench.
It was a hamstring. But yeah, so that was the key story, because once he went out, the Lakers were able to do whatever they wanted, and it wasn't as if the Pelicans had answers for it, because let's face it, their top players didn't perform at all. They didn't perform at all. Pelicans. Nope. McCollum and Brandon Ingram. As a matter of fact, if you watch, when I was watching the game, Brandon Ingram came out, I want to say with 7 minutes to go, and he never checked back in. And
he's injured again too. He just came back 2 weeks before the season ended.
So they confirmed that he was injured. I didn't see anything that said he's injured.
They don't want to announce it because there's a chance he might be able to work his way through it or something like that.
But
they said that he came back before he was ready because he wanted to be ready for the playoffs. But they had on a minutes restriction the last 10 days of the season, and then he tried to go in the playoffs and he couldn't go full speed, and he's not in shape.
Yeah. So both he and CJ McCollum were they didn't provide anything. So Brandon Ingram only played 24 minutes. He sat the final 7 minutes of the game with 11 points. And and shot 4-12 from the field. McCollum was even worse. He had 9 points and was 4 of 15. Both of them sat extended time in favor for Trey Murphy and Jose Alvarado.
Yeah.
Who played
Jose
very
Alvarado.
well.
He had a decent game.
Jose Alvarado was giving him fits on defense, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
He comes in and he's that guy that adds energy. You know, he basically he just comes in and he's like a water bug. He's a tyrant too. He comes in and he right away when he came in, he got a technical foul.
Yeah. Him and the lefty there for those Lakers.
D'Angelo
Russell, yeah. Right away when he comes in, it's like I'm here. I got to prove a point, and he got a technical right away.
Mini Pat Beverly.
Yeah. Basically, that's what he
pretty
is. He's best known for after they make a basket,
Stealing,
he goes and he hides on the baseline, or he hides, and he comes up behind the guys and he steals the ball.
Oh, man,
Yeah, he does that. But yeah, so that's the storyline. The storyline itself, it was plain to see. I mean, at one point they were down by, I want to say they were down by 12 points. 12 points. And they came all the way back.
but they were up 12 too.
Yes. But you know what? You know what's crazy? So we've been listening to Charles Barkley and Shaq say it for the last 2 years now. Zion Williamson, when are you going to have your coming out party? And the greatest reference I could use for that is when Charles said, we don't know who the 25 is, or we don't know who when LeBron and Zion plays, we don't know who the 25-year-old is, and we don't know who the 55-year. He was being facetious when he said it, but because LeBron usually was dominating and
stayed healthy.
This was the one game where he had the chance where it could have been his coming out party.
Yeah, he worked out.
How many times has he been healthy for the playoffs?
He hasn't.
He's only been in the league, 5 years? And he's probably missed the playoffs with injury. 3 of those. This is the first time I've seen him make it to the playoffs, and he gets hurt in the very first game.
Yeah. So it's tough. And we need to look at it like so far, right? You remember all the hype of him coming out.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was like the equivalent to LeBron James. And everybody couldn't wait. We followed this kid all the way from like 10th grade, right?
YouTube dunks.
He was a YouTube phenomenon, right? And then we watched him as he went and he played for Duke. He didn't cash in there with a national title either, but we watched him come in, and as soon as he came in, he got hurt. He
broke a damn shoe.
He blew a shoe out. Yeah.
Here it is. Kevin's
and then
71 games this year.
Yeah. And he blew a shoe out, and it's been all bad. Not to mention, he's had the off-court issues with he just announced that he has his fiance.
Oh, with the porn
his
star.
fiance, and then the porn star came out, and she did just the beginning of the week, she's making news again. She's saying,
he's a sex addict.
Yeah, saying, basically, airing out his laundry, I guess, when they were together. But she's saying, well, y'all can't wait to see Zion in the playoffs. Maybe y'all can't wait to see his sex tape. And I'm like, no, I don't want to see that. I'm good. I'm good.
She wants to say her sex tape, but it sells more by
exactly.
his.
She's using him as a platform. But yeah, so thus far, you look at it, right? At every turn that he's made so far, it's been like a dead end. And we had a small snippet 2 nights ago, and fell short again.
And that's the frustrating part, because what I saw during that game was how physically dominant he was, strength-wise and athletic ability-wise. Anthony Davis is one of the top defensive players in the league. He was bodying him and jumping over him. He was going at him because he knew he could go over Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So you neutralize Anthony Davis's defense because he has to stay on Zion and he can't go help. When Anthony Davis can go help, that's a problem. But I'd never seen nobody have so much success against Anthony Davis as I saw Zion. He was just backing him in, bullying, getting to the spot he wanted, and then jumping over him.
He muscled the shit out of him.
Yeah. But then even when Anthony Davis held his ground. He just went over him.
Jumped over. Yeah.
And he's not nowhere near the size of
And
Anthony Davis.
the thing that kills me is every time he gets the ball, all he has to do is make one move and then get downhill,
Yeah.
and it's over.
Once he's below the foul line,
It's over.
you see what his shooting percentage is every year. It's 50-something%, 55%, 53. He has one of the highest shooting percentages because he takes all high. You don't see him out on the 3-point line
No.
trying to be a 3-point shooter.
He knows he's
He's
not.
not
his role.
trying to dunk everything.
He knows his role.
But when he gets the ball in the paint, he knows nobody can match up with him athletically.
And furthermore, have you ever watched when he misses a shot?
He follows
how
it.
quick he is.
Yeah.
He's like a pogo
Riser.
stick. Boop, boop. He comes down and he's right back up.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch him jump. It's just he's a physical specimen.
So what do you guys attribute the constant injuries to? Do you think there's one thing in particular
Too
or a
much
combination?
Too much talk.
Weight.
And he's
Not
a big
being
dude.
in proper shape to support that type of frame. He could lose some weight
Yeah.
because that would put less torque and pressure on his knees, ankles, and I guess the soft muscle tissues, because that's what he keeps having a lot of problems with, the hamstrings, the calves.
So he's gonna be about 270 at least.
If you're being nice, he's just real athletic. He reminds me of a bigger Charles Barkley before Charles Barkley got in shape.
Yeah.
Because Charles Barkley, even when he was out of shape, he was able to jump and he had that quick hops, just like Zion. But
Yeah.
he's always hurt, and it's not anything that come down on somebody's foot, or it's just his body breaks down.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
diet better, work out more.
It's frustrating because, like I said, we witnessed him.
What?
Till this date, we witnessed him. Rise to the occasion, and
he definitely lost weight.
just when he rises to the occasion,
Since the
and you think he's going to say, "Okay, I've arrived," the injury pops up.
and I always thought New Orleans was going to be a sneaky team if he stayed healthy.
No,
Because
definitely.
you had the McCullums but Brandon Ingram's been hurt the majority of the year.
Mhm.
And now they finally try to get them together, but they're fighting for their lives to get in, and they're going to get fed to OKC.
Yeah,
If
they're
they
If
probably-
they get in.
if they win,
Yeah.
Their problem is
Sacramento looked good the other day.
Their
I think
problem,
Sacramento's going to beat them easily.
their problem is once you get past their starters, it's the support that they get
Yeah.
coming off the bench. That's their problem. You look at their starters; they're pretty good. But the thing is, like I said, once you get past the starting five, that's a different story.
Well, Herb Jones, I don't think Murphy starts.
No, he doesn't start.
Yeah, Murphy definitely helps him. I had both of those guys in fantasy, and I was surprised what they contributed. Jones more so does the dirty work. He'll D up your other guy's top player, but he'll score 12 points.
Yeah,
get
he
like
gets
3 or
out-
4
he gets out-
rebounds.
He gets out in transit.
Yeah, and
and he
a
jumps.
stopper.
He jumps out to the
And-
gym too.
Yeah, he's a great athlete.
Yeah.
But you need somebody like that doesn't require the ball to be effective. And if you put him in a
I know what you meant,
situation,
Kevin.
huh?
No, it's
But I thought
Get it.
those two guys, and then Alvarado. I never heard his name that much this year, so I didn't know if he got added late. Has he been on the team the whole year? I don't remember
he's been
hearing
there, though.
Alvarado's
He's
name.
been no,
been there.
he's been there.
He's been
He's
there.
been there.
Yeah.
He's been there. There's nothing wrong with him.
Oh,
He's just not a big name.
I didn't think they had big guys off the bench.
So the Lakers, it's something at looking at, right? The Lakers. So LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they both played 40 minutes. 40 minutes, and this is the playing game.
Yeah.
Will they be able to go 40 minutes for 3 more series?
And against Denver,
Yes. Yeah.
You're asking a lot.
So
Denver's that team, bro.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But 40 minutes they played. And this is the playing game. All right. LeBron had a team high 23. He was one. This is the good thing. This is the good LA. One of 5 players to hit double digits in points. Davis had 20 with 15 and 3 blocks. D'Angelo Russell, big.
He had a big game.
Big. He had 21 points, 5-11 from the 3-point line. And Austin Reeves does Austin Reeves thing, 16 points. And Rudy Hachimura, 13 points.
I always thought Russell was capable, but he was inconsistent. You just didn't know when he was going to show up and be the dominant
I didn't know-
person and when he was going to fall back.
So let's just talk about it. When the trade deadline came, he was rumored to be gone.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he'd be gone by now.
He
I
was
think
rumored to
they
be
didn't
gone.
get the trade they wanted. I think they were trying to get Zach LaVine, and he was going to be part of it, and Chicago backed away. And then they didn't have another deal in place. Like they put all their eggs in that basket with D'Angelo Russell. And when that deal fell apart, they didn't have another deal, so they had to keep him.
Yeah.
Lucky they did.
So
I
that's
wish
the,
they did because Zach LaVine ain't doing nothing for the Bulls.
that's a good thing. That's the good Lakers. But the point in which I made 40 minutes, will both of those guys be able to play 40 minutes without breaking down? I don't foresee that. And
The worst part about it, they're gonna have to play 40 minutes against Denver.
I know.
Some of those guys you just mentioned are going to have a more active role so that they don't have to be on the court.
This is I said this is the good Lakers, 1 of 5. LeBron was 1 of 5. They don't always get that production. They need that production moving forward, especially moving on to play against Denver. All right, so we know the Lakers. They got to like, yeah, we win. We get Denver.
Yeah.
Who? Guess what? In the last 2 years, are 0-8. Are 0-8 against Denver.
Yep.
All right, including a 4-game sweep last year, Eastern Conference Finals.
They just don't match up.
No, they don't match up well. No, they don't.
No, they don't even know how to attempt to play Joker.
No,
he's too big.
There's not many teams that can.
No, he's too talented.
Too talented.
Yeah,
he does everything too well.
He's too talented.
He does everything right at the right times. He makes all the right plays. You know, if you need him to score, he'll score. If you need him to pass, he'll pass. He does everything.
He sees the court so well.
So they stopped to play them Saturday night, 8:20. It's going to be one of the late games. The Pelicans now play against Sacramento on Friday night, and the winner will face number 1 Oklahoma City.
Sacramento's got 2 key guys out too.
Yes.
Kevin Werder
we're going to talk about that now. Malik Monk.
Yeah, but I was just saying, so they can't really say, oh, if Zion doesn't play, because Sacramento got their own issues.
Yes.
And they both have to overcome them just to get into the playoffs.
All right. So Sacramento they kicked the crap out of Golden State. Golden State.
Were you surprised?
Golden State. Well, yeah, I was surprised.
Really?
I was surprised.
Because I'm so disappointed in Klay Thompson.
I thought they would have put up a better fight.
I thought it was a good game, not a blowout.
I thought just Steph Curry showed up, and I thought the young guys, Kuminga and them, would play Moody. They did.
I thought, just having pride, just having the pride. This is a team that has won 4 titles in the last 7 years. I thought that they would have showed up, and they just never showed up.
A lot of those guys, Draymond and Klay, are not who they used to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And trading that guy that Draymond hit is coming back to bite him in the ass. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
he's perfectly made for that system.
Yes,
he's not playing well.
No, he's horrible.
But in Golden State, he had that role.
Yeah, well, he came off the bench too,
and he had the green light.
Yes, when you come out, there's a difference of being a number 1 and then coming off the bench and playing against teams number 2s and 3s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it
That's
speaks
why
for itself.
It was more well catered.
Yeah. So they routed them. It was 118-94. And the Stars for Golden State, they just didn't show up. Sacramento had 5 players in double figures and was led by Keegan Murray. You hit a crowd every time you hit a 3. Oh yeah, he did.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that he has 2 other brothers in the league.
Yes.
DeJounte Murray's his brother, and I forgot the other one's name.
Yeah.
But they got 3 of them. They all look alike.
So he had 32 points, 9 rebounds, but he was 8 for 13 from 3-point. Every time you look
in rhythm.
Yes. De'Aaron Fox, who I thought was going to be the man, had 24. He was yes. Harrison Barnes had 17. DeMontis Sabonis had 16 and 12. But most importantly, the shooting guard, Keegan Ellis, undrafted on a 2-way contract.
I was just saying, who's that?
There you go. Undrafted.
You messed up
undrafted on a 2-way contract. So basically, he's playing the role of Malik Monk, and he had 15 points, and he played real good defense on Steph because he has a length, youth, and he can jump.
And I was talking to Kevin Resendiz Jr. about this. He had commented on Facebook. The reason why Keegan Murray is showing out right now is he's buried behind Monk. So it's almost like addition by subtraction. Keegan Murray is allowed to do more because he has to in assuming Monk's role. Keegan Murray should be a starter, but he's coming off the bench, but Monk is that first guy off the bench. So he's kind of deferring to him. Now he's in a role where he has to show more, and he's showing us what he can do. He was a top 5 pick. He was like number 4 in the draft.
Yeah.
The year he came out. They got to find more playing time for him, regardless.
Well, yeah, this is after this game. Yeah.
But that softens the blow of losing Kevin Werder.
Yes.
If
Yes.
he keeps this up, I see why not. The only way that he wouldn't, Sacramento would be
He's
stupid.
6'7", and he plays off guard and small forward.
So, call it for what you want, but once again, like I said, I thought that Golden State's veterans and their stars would show up. Lack of score. Klay Thompson was 0 for
0
for 10. 31 minutes.
And he'll be the first one to cry when they say, you're going to the bench, or we don't need you no more. Yo, the things I've done, you've done. That's past history. You can't do those.
You can't
things
live on
no
those
more.
laurels anymore.
So why are we going to put you in that role
But
or
the-
pay you that type of money?
But they're doing it for the Draymond. They did
Well,
it for Draymond.
yeah.
I really think that was the Steph effect because Steph and Draymond are best friends.
That's
You gotta remember
crazy.
that.
Well, we'll get to that. So, Steph Curry was 11 for 19 for 22 points.
Oh, that's pretty good.
When you're the only guy scoring.
Yeah, and that percentage.
But just think about it, right? Last year in Game 7 against them, he dropped 50.
50. Yeah.
This was a Game 7.
Yeah.
This was a Game 7. It's basically win or go home. You're the 10th seed. You lose, you go home.
Yeah.
And they just didn't. There was a lack of
Urgency.
urgency of them wanting or needing to
Yep.
be there.
Exactly.
And it just wasn't good. So now it leads you. Is this the end for Golden
So
State?
I was about to ask you, do you think
Is this the end for
do
Golden
you think
State?
the lick
Yes.
do you think the wick was lit
Yes.
for
I
that,
think it
for
was
the bomb
when
to
they
go off?
didn't
Yes.
re-sign Clay, but re-sign Draymond because they both were having the same arguments made for it against them, getting up there in age. They've lost a step. They rode their money with Draymond. That tells me, and I think that messed with Clay's head all year. They're not
And that-
re-signing him. His contract's up. They're
and-
going to trade him. They're going to if his contract's not up, they're going to trade him. I think it's up. They're
It's
not
up.
going to
He's
give
a
him the
free
money.
Yeah, he's
They're
right.
not going to give him the money.
And they moved him to the bench.
Yes,
They made him
and they
sit.
got young guys, 2 of them,
Yes.
who can play his position.
So just think about it, right? Just think about it.
Jay comedian said, "What up, Steve?"
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Jay?
Hey,
So just
singing comedian.
just think about it, right? You've got Clay and you've got Draymond, right? They decided to keep Draymond, which I thought was a huge mistake.
Yeah,
All right.
Sure.
Let's go back and talk about it, right? Draymond, all they had to do was win 2 more games, right? They would have went from 10 to 8.
Yep.
How many games did he get suspended? 14.
At the beginning.
Well, no, what I'm saying when he did the whole backhand
Oh,
thing.
because he was suspended at the beginning of the year, self-imposed.
Yes.
So he missed. They could have won some of those games.
he was
Then they
suspended.
could have.
He was suspended more than once.
So he
Yeah.
got suspended twice this year.
Right.
But just
Significant
think
amount.
about it, right? 14 games where he did the backhand WWE slap. 14 games. All they had to win is 2 more games, and it would have moved them up to the 8th spot.
Didn't he get suspended for choking out
Yeah.
the kid from Utah?
Yeah.
That was in the beginning.
That was in the middle.
So they get suspended more than.
I listen. It all runs into one another for me. But the point here is that I'm getting at is, they gave a stat. I heard it on ESPN yesterday. The games that he was gone, it was like something like 16 and 24 or something to that effect. All they had to do was win 2 more games, and it would have got him out of the win or go home scenario, right? So if they're in the 8th spot right now, even if they lost the first game, they get another shot. They don't get no shot now. They're home. Ultimately you missed the playoffs this year. It was a failure.
And they played on the road. They would have played at home
Yes.
too.
It was a failure. You didn't even make the playoffs, right? So now in moving forward, if I'm Golden State, I sit back and I look back at it and I say, you know what? We made a mistake. Should we try to run it back and keep Draymond? Or is it going to be like Groundhog Day? He's going to do the same stuff over again and then say he's sorry.
Okay, but you know the difference? When he messed up last time, who did it affect the most? Who did we see off to the side, literally in tears?
Sorry, yeah.
Because he signed his soul over to vouch for him to keep him. So now you've burned your bridge with the one guy that had your back, that had the power to go to coach, general manager, and up with owners. He had a direct line to the owner. Curry could say, I want Draymond to stay. That makes me happy. Yeah. I'll keep him in line. You can't keep him in line, bro. He'll probably be gone too.
Yeah.
But he has to get traded.
Yes, he has to get traded.
And I don't know who's going to take on that contract.
I don't know who's going to want to take on him, period.
Yeah. But he just signed
and a contract. Yeah.
for 4 years.
So I think they're pretty much stuck with him. I don't think he's too much of a side distraction. You know, he says all the right things, and then he says all the right things, and then he goes back to his old self, and he's smacking someone. He's doing something, choking somebody out, or whatever.
He's not a young guy.
Yeah.
He's like, when do you grow up?
No. So I think it's time to say goodbye to Clay. All right, let him walk.
That's the easy part.
And start with your nucleus. You got Kuminga, you got Moody, you've got Looney, and Podziemski or whatever.
Yeah, I can't even say his name.
You've got those four. It's you've got something there. All right. When those guys played, they played well together. Unfortunately, I don't think they had enough experience in this, the last game to go home to raise their talent. And it didn't help that Clay went 0-4. But they've got some makings of something to build around now. So once Clay goes off the books, you can go out and you can get yourself a free agent. Get yourself the best available at whatever it is you need. They need size.
Yeah.
They need size. They definitely need size. But this is what they got to do. So is this the end of the dynasty? Yes, I say yes.
Yeah.
I think they
thought about it the last 2 or 3 years.
My
they
thing
pulled
was
the plug this year.
My thing was you were faithful and you kept them that extra year or 2 years when you should have gotten rid of them.
2 years, I say.
Yeah, I should. So you look at it, right?
And they got rid of Poole at his expense.
The year after they beat the Celtics, the following year, once they lost that year, they should have blew it up right there. Now you've got guys that are 3 years older. You got a guy like Klay Thompson. They're looking at 0 for 10. Really? You couldn't make one shot? 0 for 10?
And he's supposed to be a shooter.
Yes. And he, like when we talked about, he's not the person that he once was. Before, he hung his hat on defense. He's slow as hell now. He's not gotten too much of anybody. And his shooting is sporadic.
Yep.
So, and then Green he's just a whole different animal. You never know what you're gonna get with him. So now Sacramento goes on to face New Orleans, who'll be at home on Friday night. What are we thinking for that game?
I think Sacramento's going to take it. There's no
Zion. He's out for 2 weeks.
We don't know what's up with Ingram yet. They haven't officially announced anything, but there's a reason why he didn't play the last 7 minutes.
Yeah,
in my opinion, even with Ingram, I think Sacramento.
Takes him out. So I'm going to give you a stat here.
And
New Orleans was 5-0 against them this year.
It's at Sacramento.
Yeah,
they were
5-0 with a healthy lineup.
Yeah, 5-0. But you got to remember, they also in some of those games they had Malik Monk and Herder.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're a bad matchup. They don't have nobody on defense that can guard Zion either, because the same thing he did to AD, he can do to Sabonis.
Yeah. So it's it goes both ways. You can argue for and against because, like I said, they beat him with a better squad with Herder and Malik Monk. But yet there's no Mayan.
But Murray didn't have the green light either.
Yeah, but think about it. He wasn't even the catalyst the last game.
No,
it was Murray.
That's what I said, Murray.
Oh, Murray. Oh, okay,
I said Murray.
My bad. Yeah. I don't know. It's the way I see it is if Steve is onto something with Ingram being hurt, then yeah, I'm definitely going to sway to them.
Because they have 3 guys they count on. If 2 of them are hurt, it only leaves McCollum, who's good, but you can't have him carry you.
No.
He's got to chase around Fox, probably.
Yeah. But he's also going to have to provide the scoring, and that's going to be too much for him to do.
You have to, at some point, you have to.
There's nobody else to rely on that team.
Ingram has to be Ingram has to be that other guy because, asking these guys, these other guys do stuff that they normally aren't used to doing, I don't think it's gonna work.
Ingram's a former NBA All Star.
Yeah, no, I know. But the thing is, if he's hurt, I haven't heard anything. But if that's the truth, he's hurt, then I mean they're battling up.
You got to ask yourself, why would he not play when they needed him?
And he looked. So I don't know if you guys. So when I'm saying to myself, when I seen McCollum come in and he didn't come in, I said, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You got to put McCollum in because they were going small and LeBron just kept on backing guys up. I'm like, why is he out?
And you didn't see no argument with a coach.
And then I looked at the bench. He was the only one sitting down. Everybody else was standing up.
He was probably frustrated. He knew he couldn't go.
Everyone else
didn't
was
want to give it
up.
away.
And in the final 4 minutes, everybody, like every time a shot went up, he was sitting at the end of the bench, disconnected. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
Could have gotten into an
I don't know if it's injury. I don't know if it was because he was playing a crappy game. We don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Turned it to Ben Simmons.
Oh, I don't know if many players can do that. But yeah, so we'll see. The game is both games are tomorrow. But yeah, it'll be at New Orleans. So we'll see. But like I said, they were 5-0 against them this year.
So assuming these two teams get in the playoff, Sacramento gets in. Now it's all set up. Their prize is going to be OKC, which they're lucky because they got a better chance against OKC because they're young talent and never been in that position. Yeah. But if that was Denver in the number one spot, that would just be walking in the slaughter. Yeah. But I still don't think the winner of this game gets past the first round. I think OKC will handle business. And then we'll see. We should know the rest of the matchups now in the West if Sacramento gets in.
Yeah, well, we're only waiting on one team.
Yep.
Either or.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, both conferences. Either or.
Yeah. Well, since we were talking about the West, I was just
now we're
talking about the
East. We'll head on over to the East. The Eastern Conference game. Number 7 Philly squeaks out a nail biter against number 8 Miami.
They were down.
And they were down. They were down by like 12, 13 points 15 points at one point. You know what's crazy? Miami does the same thing to every team. They play that stupid zone.
That zone. And
teams act like they've never played against a zone before. They throw the ball away. They get trapped. I'm like, you guys are pros. What's going on here?
Jimmy Butler had 5 steals off of that.
Yes.
3 of them with one leg.
Yeah. But yeah. Another story. That'll be another storyline. But he actually got hurt in the beginning of the second quarter, but went on to play the rest of the game.
Yep.
It was crazy. It's crazy because you've seen him limping, but like you said, he had 5 steals.
When he was going, he didn't look hurt.
That's heart and desire. Yeah. He's going to give you everything he has for as long as he has. And when he comes out, it's because he really can't go no more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm no doctor. I don't know exactly what happened with how much pain Zion and Ingram might have been in. But Jimmy Butler, they're talking about 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. I mean, they're gone. Now,
MCL.
right?
MCL.
No, they play.
He's
gone. Yeah, he's gone 2 to 3 weeks. And
who they play?
That's the same prognosis.
They play the Bulls?
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, so they're gone.
MCL.
Gone.
MCL. So he's out. They're saying at minimum 3 weeks. So he would miss the whole first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would take him into the second round. But yeah, it just here we are again, and in a different conference with another key player. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the unsung hero from yesterday, Nicholas Batum. He was on fire.
Are you kidding
6
me?
out of 10 from long range.
I'm saying we saw the offense, but he also blocked the shot at the end.
At the end, yes.
That was a key block.
20 points.
That was a key block.
20 points. He helped out Embiid, who kind of had an off night. 23 points,
which is rare.
15 points. Maxey dropped 19. Oubre had 11. And the guy that gets paid $1 million, so many $1 million, didn't even crack double figures. It's safe to say he'll be gone next year.
No way.
Yeah, he will be gone. But yeah, the East is it's a little crazy, but what do we got here? So we lost our camera. I don't know what's going on here.
Derek's never looked so good.
So we'll continue on. Miami, they were led by a hero who had 25 points, 9 assists. Butler had the 19, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 5. He stuffed the stat sheets yesterday. He had 19, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. The rookie, Jamie Jack Wez, or whatever his name is, had 15 points. Adebayo had 10 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. So now we know Philly's moving on to play the Knicks Saturday night. That's going to be a good one. Yeah. That is going to be a good one.
2-7 match. Right
yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Because the Knicks, remember we were talking about Anunoby possibly not being around either? He came back and he's playing well. They needed him. Brunson's been carrying them dudes. And now you get Anunoby back. And who else did they get back? They got somebody else back. The only one they didn't get back was Randall.
Yeah.
And they're playing well. That game is going to be very interesting. That series, I should say, because I think that can go 7 games.
And with New York with the home court too.
And Embiid missed a lot of games. You know, a lot of people, we were talking about Ingram missed a lot of games on the other squads. Embiid came back and looked like he didn't miss a beat. And what did we just say? They won 10 games in a row.
You could see it though. He looked kind of sluggish yesterday.
Yeah, maybe yesterday, but as soon as he came back, they went on a 10-game win streak leading up to the into the playoff.
Well, he's a big part of their game, you know.
Without him, they were a playing team. With him, they're a top 4 team.
Good possible, yeah.
So that series with them in New York is going to be, to me, just as interesting as the 4 or 5 matchup. Which is who's in the 4 or 5 matchup?
Indiana?
No, Indiana plays the Bucks. That's 3 and 6. So who's 4 or 5? Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot who because the 4 or 5 games in both conferences were really, really good matchups. I'm trying to think of all the teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, me too. I'm having a brain fart. I'm having a brain fart right now as we speak.
But where do you see the Knicks and Sixers playing out?
I don't know.
Like how many games? Like who's favored by how many games?
I think, in my opinion, it goes 6 with Philly coming out. That's my opinion.
I think Philly has a chance, but I think they'll be on the bottom end of that 4-3.
Magic Cavs. Was it that?
Yeah, that's it. The Magic are the most underrated team in the East.
You think so?
Yo, when was the last time you saw them in the playoffs? And not in the playing games. All that young talent is finally staying healthy. And Pancho Banchero is way better than we thought he was.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Isaacs has stayed healthy. 6'10" guy who can do everything, play defense, just about everything. He's playing better. Jalen Suggs is playing well.
WMU1 Radio. Oh, he hung up. We had a phone call. Caller, if you're there, call back. All right. Let's see.
We're doing our invisible podcast right now.
Having issues with the camera. We're gonna try to fix it.
But what do you guys see the playing game? I mean, right now we are at Chicago and Miami. I know the homer over there is going to have a one-way prognosis on it, but let's say that one-way script.
Oh, why would I have?
Well, the Lions ain't playing, so you can't have a one-way script in football now, so it's going to be in basketball. And I wouldn't argue with you in baseball because you like the same team.
But no, I think it's going to be a good game. But
Kobe White has been incredible for you guys.
Like
not just his last
game. Like we was talking about earlier, how Murray got
the opportunity.
Got the opportunity with what's his face out. Monk, was it Monk or Fox?
Monk.
One of the,
Monk and Werder.
Heard
with them out, Murray got his shot. Now with what's his name? The dunker there,
Zach Levine.
Zach Levine, when he got hurt,
And the guy that came over from the Lakers, he's hurt too. They don't know if he's playing.
when he got hurt, White stepped up and